So what is up, folks? Just chilling at a park like I normally do. Just get bored and sit at a park and watch nature. Jamming to some Megadeth. Who doesn't like Megadeth? Probably those Metallica fruitcakes. It's always been Megadeth or death. So today, I'm going to let out my inner narcissism and talk about my family's past. And one of those many branches is Dutch, and my grandma used to tell me about, hey, you're Pennsylvania Dutch. It actually turned out that we're Dutch from Pennsylvania, not in the sense of the normal use of the word implying Germans in America. Normally talking about the Amish and the other early German populations that came here. The Dutch came, they settled New York, and I do believe the 1620s, and their population was very multicultural in the sense that it involved a lot of different European ethnicities coming and a small amount of African slaves. So, New York has always had quite a different beginning than a lot of the rest of America. So, my family came, the last one I have records of was right when the Dutch were basically forced out, and they took a Spice Island instead of New York. And New York would have been taken eventually just due to the population of New England and the southern states. So if they wouldn't have won it in wars, they would have won it just in sheer numbers like they did the French. So one of the weirdest aspects of especially the Dutch population is how small it was, yet it retained its language and chunks of its culture while being surrounded by the heavily Anglo and later German waves that happened in America, Irish waves. And those are the big three of America: the Anglos, Irish, and the German populations. So the Dutch retained its language in the sense that I was flipping through YouTube comments, and someone even claimed that in the 1950s there were still elderly people that still spoke Americanized Dutch. Van Buren was the only president to not have his first language as English. It was actually Dutch as well. My family ended up moving out west into the Midwest, losing its Dutch heritage and mixing in with the Anglo population. According to my gene test, I'm 78% Anglo North Seas, which would include southern Denmark down to Normandy, implying there was a heavy mixture of northwestern Europeans there, and 22% Scottish and Irish. I'm often wondering how accurate those tests are, since they've changed it. They changed it twice on me. The first one saying that yes, I was mostly English, but there was a small amount of Scandinavian and such, which makes sense with the English and the Dutch background. As for when the Irish and the Scottish came in, that must be through my dad's side, which I have not heavily traced out. But yeah, I figured some people would find it interesting on how long it really took the Dutch to fully integrate into the American system. The biggest thing that I really love learning about is all these different regional differences. America as an entity has always been quite interesting, with the different cultures coming in here. Not necessarily different races, though you have the Tejano population of like the Southwest, and different Castizo and European populations all scattered around the Southwest. There was not a whole lot of heavy admixture with the native populations, which explains why you'll meet a lot of Californians with different than Anglo and German last names than we're used to with very Hispanic Hispanic last names, but they're whiter than I am. But that's my random chat for today. It has been brought to you by the Copenhagen pouches. I always get the wintergreen ones, since I always have to hit on tobacco in one way or another. I smoked my cigar going to the gym. I was going to post up a little video, but I figured I'd wait till tonight when I can make a better video and not a 16-second clip of me smoking a cigar to an Incubus song. Make sure, if you made it through this far, to hit that like, the sub, and spread the video if you want. I don't put a whole lot of effort into these, but they're fun to make. So, thank you guys for listening. And I'll see you in the next few days, because that's how I normally upload, randomly.